Salve omnes, welcome to this video lesson, and we are looking at Fabulae Syrae 28, and we are halfway through section 3 on Nausicaa, and we're picking up at line 200. Sic autem respondit candida puella. So, however, or moreover, responded the bright or beautiful girl. So candida literally means something like bright white, but often this word does refer to somebody who has a nice fair complexion, and thus it can imply beautiful. All right. So however, so moreover, responded the beautiful girl. Jupiter suam cuique partim boni et mali dat. Jupiter gives to each cuique his own part of good and bad. All right. Boni et mali. Cum igitur mala nobis dat, when therefore he gives bad things to us, oportet pati, it is fitting to suffer them, to endure them. Nunquero, but now, quoniam ad nostrem urbem eteram venisti, since you have come. So quoniam, if you're not familiar with that, it's a synonym for quia or quod, because or since. Since you have come to our city and land, neque vestimentis, neque aliis rebus egebis, you will neither lack clothing, garments, we might say, vestimentis, nor other things, aliis rebus. Urbem tibi ostendam, I will show the city to you. In qua pater regnat meus, the city in which my father rules. Sumenim ego filia Alcinoi, feacum regis. For I am the daughter of Alcinous, king of the Phaeacians. All right, and so you can hear a little party song go off in Odysseus' head at this point. Yay! I got it right, and I'm not going to perish miserably. All right. 206. Arcesivit igitur Nausicaa Ankylas. Therefore, Nausicaa summoned the maidservants. So she called out for them. Quae perderitae huc et luc fugerant. Who, frightened, had fled, fugerant, perfect form there, here and there, huc et luc, so one direction and another direction. Isque imperavit, and she ordered them. All right, and here we're going to go into another indirect command. So the ut clause, ut ulixim lavarent, that's indirect command, that they should wash Ulysses, or again, Odysseus, in fluvio, in the river. Et tunica et palioque vestirent, and that they should dress him in a tunic, all right, or in Greek we would call it a chiton. It's kind of a long shirt sort of thing, short dress sort of thing, and in a cloak, all right. Pallium is a kind of like a cloak or a shawl, all right. Ulixes vero Anchilis, Ulysses, however, to the maidservants, inquit says, state, stay, stand, stop right there. Orovos, I beg you all. Procul, at a distance. So stand there at a distance. Dum ego ipse corpus lavo, while I myself wash my body. So I think he's ashamed here. I'm not sure if it's so much about him being naked as it is about him being so awfully dirty and nasty. Because the Greeks a lot of times didn't have so much shame about being naked, but he doesn't look very good, right? And so he might be embarrassed about just how awful he is looking. Because after all, if you know anything about this story, Odysseus is himself a king of his own island, right? And actually, more than one island. There are a couple islands that he ruled. Nam pudet me, for it shames me, nuda membra ante puellarum oculos ostendere, to show my naked limbs in front of the eyes of the girls. So this says here, and again, that could be part of it, but I think he also is feeling a bit, you know, ashamed of just how awful he looks. Okay, on we go. 2:11. Postquam autem corpus lavit. However, after he washed his body, tam pulchererat, he was so handsome, so beautiful. Ut sic Nausicaa cum ancilis loqueretur, that Nausicaa spoke thus with her maidservants. So this was again a result clause. The tom is the key word that tells you that's coming. So beautiful that Nausicaa spoke with her maidservants thus, and here's what she said: Initio quidem mihi ille vir foidus esse videbatur. In the beginning, indeed, to me that man seemed to be ugly, foidus. Nunquero dii similis est, but now he is similar to the gods. Qui caelum latum habitant, the gods who inhabit the broad sky, the wide sky. O ancillae, O maidservants, nemo mihi persuadebit, no one will persuade me, eum non esse regim quindam, that he is not some king, vel fortissimum ducem, or some most, or some strongest or bravest general or leader, ducem. Opto, I wish, I hope, ut ille delectator, that he be delighted, hic apud nos manindo, to stay or by staying here with us, apud nos, et meus fiat maritus, and that he should become my husband. Now, a little problem here. If you know anything about the story, he's already married, right? Poor Penelope's stuck at home for the 20 years he's gone. He's gone 10 years of the Trojan War, and then it takes him 10 years to go home because he runs into all these problems on the way home. And yeah, so when he gets back, they're both middle-aged, Penelope and Odysseus. They got married when they were young. And his son, who was born right before he left, is a grown man, like 20 or so, right? Okay, back to our story in line 215. Opto ut ille, I hope, I wish that he be delighted, delectator, hic apud nos manindo, in staying here with us, and that he should become my husband, et meus maritus fiat. Verum date ei cibum et vinum, but give him food, cibum, and wine, vinum, ut edat et bibat, that he may eat and drink. Now the ut clause here is a purpose clause. Give him food and wine. Well, why do you give him food and wine? In order that, or so that he may eat and he may drink. Dionem, for a long time, credo, I believe, kibo caruit, he has lacked, he has wanted food, right? In other words, she thinks he hasn't eaten in a long time, which is very true. Ulixes igitur, Ulysses therefore, primum sumsit cibum, first took food, dendevero, but then cum Nausicaa et ancilis urbem petiwit, he sought out the city with Nausicaa and her maidservants. The city ubi, where a rege et regina acceptus est, he was received, acceptus est, by the king and the queen. Now, of course, this is Nausicaa's parents. Post cenam, after a dinner, autem, moreover, rex eum rogavit, the king asked him, ut sibi narraret, that he should tell him, unde et commodo veniret, from where and how he had come, or he was coming, rather. When niret is an imperfect subjunctive. Tell him where he was coming from and how he was coming. quo ire velit, where he was wanting to go. All right, good enough. Ulysses igitur, therefore Ulysses, qui statim dixit se esse cupidum, who immediately said that he was desirous, in patrem rediundi, of returning to his homeland. And again, desirous of returning to his homeland. That's a very literal translation. You could understand it more like eager to return home. Multis cum lacrimis, with many tears, tristim fabulam suam omnibus qui ibi aderant narravit. Told the sad story, or his sad story, tristim fabulam suam, to everyone, omnibus, who were present there, all the people who were present there. Rex tali fabula audita, with such a story heard, okay, nice ablative absolute, tam motus est animo, was so moved in his mind. Ut ulixim omnivodo juvare velit. Now, this ut clause again is a result clause. Notice it's following after that signpost word tom. He was so moved in his mind, so sort of emotionally disturbed by the story, that he wanted to help, velit juvare, wanted to help Odysseus or Ulysses, omnimodo, in every way. Imperavit itaque, and so he ordered, ut navis pararetur, that a ship be prepared, qua vectus Ulysses in patrem suum redire posset, carried in which, qua vectus, Ulysses or Odysseus would be able to return to his homeland. Ergo, postero die, therefore, on the following day, Ulysses omnibus vale dixit, Ulysses or Odysseus said to everyone, farewell, vale. Et navim conscendit, and he boarded the ship, ut tandem post tot annus domum suum reveteretur, that at last, with tandem, after so many years, he might return to his home. Nausicaa autem tristissima erat. However, Nausicaa was very sad. Now, I should note one thing here. This is coming to the end of the Odyssey, right before he gets back home, so definitely far in the later half of the Odyssey. And according to the story, the Phaeacians, they have these amazing ships that don't sink, right? And, well, Poseidon is really angry at Odysseus because he blinded Polyphemus, the Cyclops, who is the son of Poseidon. And so because of that, when he sees that the Phaeacians take Odysseus home in this perfect, never-sinking ship, he gets so angry at them that he decides to just destroy their whole island and sink it beneath the waves. So people look at this as kind of a prototype for the story of the sunken city of Atlantis, because this is kind of utopian society. Everything seems to be wonderful and amazing on the island, Scheria, the island of the Phaeacians. All right, back to our story, 230. Nausicaa, however, was very sad. Postquam navis, after the ship, qua Ulysses vehebatur profecta est, after the ship which carried Ulysses, or in which Ulysses was carried is the literal translation, set forth, profecta est, that's a two-word deponent perfect form. So after the ship in which Ulysses was carried set forth, in altum saxum ascendit, she climbed onto a high rock. So again, this is Nausicaa here. This is her stories, sort of focalized from her point of view. Unde prospiciens, from which, looking forth, diu navim abiuntim oculi secuta est. She followed the ship going away, navem abiuntem, with her eyes, oculis, for a long time, diu. Lacrimae vero ex eius oculis labebantur. But tears were falling, kept falling, labebantur, that's an imperfect, from her eyes, ex eius oculis. Neque quisquam moderat, nor was there anyone there, qui eam marentim consolare posset, who was able to console her grieving. All right, poor Nausicaa. She and her whole country are about to get sunken by Poseidon because they sent Ulysses, or Odysseus rather, home. Not fair. They really hadn't done anything wrong. But that's the way these myths go. Don't make the gods angry. All right, I think I would make the gods angry if I lived back then. I'm not liking the gods very much. All right. So I hope you learned a few things there, whether it be about vocabulary, grammar, whatever it might be, maybe the myth. Valete omnes.